In an effort to rewrite history from the perspective of the Trump administration, they decided to rewrite and scale back the annual Human Rights Report. Tyrone Bowman live. According to BBC News, the Trump administration has significantly rewritten and downscaled the U.S. government's annual report on global human rights abuses. The document, previously seen as the most comprehensive study of its kind by any government, significantly reduces criticism of some U.S. allies such as Israel and El Salvador, while escalating disapproval of perceived foes such as Brazil and South Africa. Entire sections included in reports from previous years are also eliminated, dramatically reducing coverage of issues including government corruption and persecution of LGBTQ individuals. State Department officials say it has been restructured to remove redundancies and increase readability. The report also describes the human rights situation as having worsened in major European democracies, including the UK, France, and Germany. The language used echoes previous criticism by the Trump administration and some U.S. tech bosses who oppose online harm reduction laws in some European countries, portraying them as attacks on free speech. Azra Zia, a former senior State Department official who now runs the charity Human Rights First, accused the Trump administration of gutting decades of highly respected work on human rights, protections, and an abandonment of core values to the U.S. It sends a signal that there's going to be a free pass from the United States government, that it will look the other way if a government is willing to cut deals or do the bidding of the administration, she told the BBC. The report accuses the UK of significant human rights issues, including credible reports of serious restrictions on freedom of expression. It also describes prosecution and punishment for human rights abuses as inconsistent. Both the UK and Brazil have previously rejected similar criticisms from the US. In the section on Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza, the report says the ongoing war led to a rise in reports of human rights violations. However, the report continues, the government took several credible steps to identify officials who committed human rights abuses. It also accuses Hamas and Hezbollah of war crimes, charges both have denied. The report omits reference to the International Criminal Court, or the ICC, arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and a Hamas commander, Mohammed Dief. ICC judges concluded there were reasonable grounds the men bore criminal responsibility for alleged war crimes. Both Israel and Hamas have rejected the allegations. El Salvador has been accused by Amnesty International of arbitrary detentions and human rights violations, as well as inhumane detention conditions. However, the State Department report concluded there were no credible reports of significant human rights abuses. Trump has a close relationship with El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele, who he lauded in April as one hell of a president who was doing a great job. The document was published following a months-long decay in reports of significant internal dissent at the State Department over its contents. It follows internal guidance issued by political leaders earlier this year, reportedly advising staff to shorten the reports to remove some references to issues including corruption and gender-based crimes, and follow some executive orders on related issues issued by the president. See, the problem with this whole reporting is this. We're living in a world where the Republicans want everything to be from their perspective and their perspective alone. No one else's opinion matters. No one else can have free speech and free press except them. The oppressiveness of so many different things that's going on in our country is unrelenting at this point in time. Take, for instance, the takeover of Washington, D.C. This is the first of many cities, democratically led cities, that'll probably be taken over. Isn't it ironic with the 2026 midterm elections coming up? that this is happening. Now, if this is a justified effort, then what about the Republican states that are lawless with criminal intent? Shouldn't they be dealing with the same thing as well? Wake up, people. Stop falling asleep. Pay attention to what's going on around you. During a visit to Saudi Arabia earlier this year, Trump berated Western interventionists and said the U.S. would no longer be giving you lectures on how to live or how to govern your own affairs, except for Africa and South Africa at large. Now, Africa is the largest continent in the world. And why does Africa have so many problems, especially internally wise? Think about it. I'll bring a special report about that. It won't be a flattering one, but I'll bring it. Never surrender. Never quit.